Krajowa Rada Narodowa in Polish was a parliament-like political body created during the later period of World War II in German-occupied Warsaw. Its founding was the initial stage in the formation of a communist government of Poland. The existence of the KRN was later accepted by the Soviet Union, and the council became to a larger extent subjugated and controlled by the Soviets. The KRN was established on the night of the 31st of December 1943 on the initiative of the recreated in 1942 in Joseph Stalin's prewar Great Purge Polish Communist Party, the Polish Workers' Party led by Władysław Gomułka. It was the implementation of the party's Central Committee decision of 7 November 1943. The council was declared to be the actual political representation of the Polish nation, empowered to act on behalf of the nation and manage its affairs until the time of Poland's liberation from the occupation. For the beginning, the KRN viewed the pre-war sanation regime and the contemporary Polish government in exile as illegitimate, based on the elitist totalitarian April Constitution, whose legality had never been recognized by the nation, and as representative of narrow reactionary interests. The new government formation would be based on the Worker-Peasant Alliance, and on the alliance with the Soviet Union. The Armia Ludowa was established as the KRN's armed force. The exile government and the Polish underground state, especially the Armia Krajowa Command, were worried by this development and by the progressing social radicalization in Poland. They accelerated the formation of the already planned Council of National Unity, their own parliament, created on 9 January 1944. The Soviet government under Stalin, initially unaware of the establishment of the KRN because of the non-existent at the time communications, became critical of it until, according to the evolving international situation, the Soviets developed new ideas in respect to Poland and found the KRN to be a potentially convenient entity. A KRN delegation went to Moscow for talks with Stalin on the 22nd of May 1944, and the body's existence was upheld. The KRN was dominated by pro-Soviet and pro-communist activists from various Polish pre-war parties. Attempts to broaden the KRN's base by absorbing other leftist and popular groups were unsuccessful. The left wing of the Polish Socialist Party and the agrarian movement had also in mind a future People's Republic of Poland, but of a different variety than the communists. The KRN included some members of the PPS, the Polish People's Party, the Democratic Party, the Labour Party, non-aligned and Jewish politicians. Władysław Gomułka of the PPR became the KRN's chairman. Gomułka was opposed to Gomułka's efforts to broaden the KRN's participation, and a sharp conflict between the two ensued. Gomułka believed in future communist rule based on the presence of the Soviet Red Army in Poland and did not want to dilute the PPR's identity and influence by the inclusion of too many other forces. The KRN's vice-chairmen were Wincenty Witos, Stanislaw Grabski and Stanislaw Swalb. On the 22nd of July 1944, few members of the KRN transported to Moscow together with the Union of Polish Patriots formed a new governmental structure. The Polish Committee of National Liberation, PKWN, gave rise to communist-dominated governments, which later included some former members of the Polish government in exile, led by Stanislaw Mikolajczyk, and represented a half-hearted attempt by the Communists to meet the Yalta Conference requirements of forming a coalition government and carrying out free elections. On the 31st of December of that year, the KRN transformed the PKWN into the Provisional Government of the Republic of Poland. Both early governments were headed by the socialist Edward Osip Komorowski. Until the elections to Parliament, the KRN held both legislative and executive powers, and Bolesław Gomułka was the head of state. In July 1945, the KRN had 273 members. In October 1946 it was expanded to 444 members, 26 non-aligned. The Polish legislative elections, 1947, were rigged by the Communists, who previously conducted the Polish People's Referendum of 1946. The unchallenged rule of the Communists that followed, combined with extensive repressions and persecution, forced many opposition leaders to leave the country. The new Sejm, which replaced the KRN, was totally dominated by the Communists and their allies.